This is Smithee.tv.
What? Hey, folks, I'm Kenny Robinson, and if you're watching this, you know exactly where you are. You're at my podcast on Smitty TV called Breaking Down the News. This week, I got an old friend, guest of mine. I know he's old because I see some gray hair sprouting out of his beard. He's been my lieutenant, my right-hand man with the Nubian movement the last 18 and 19 years or so. Sean Paul, ladies and gentlemen. Award winner, nominee. You got so many credentials these days.
I try, man. And again, as you mentioned, the 18, 19 years of doing the Nubian show, I wouldn't have any of those credentials if it wasn't for the Nubian show. So thank you.
Well,
I know.
You make me proud. So anyway, talking about making me proud, you just came back from LA. What's happening there? Were you wearing that black Dodger hat? That's not official.
So basically, the reason I'm wearing the black Dodger hat is because I'm Straight Outta Compton was going to be coming out shortly, and which is a movie I've seen and I loved. And it was. I just kind of wanted to support the whole movement because it was something that I remember at 19. Like this was like I lived through this exact moment up until now.
Right.
With the whole NWA to Dr. Dre to the Ice Cube. Used to be a gangster rapper, is now a gangster actor. You know, all that kind of crazy stuff. So.
Cube? No, he's now
No,
the
he's not a
father.
gangster.
Are we there yet?
Yeah. He's. They even have the sequel to what's the one with him and Kevin Hart? Ride Along. They
Now
got the
he's
sequel.
playing the police, much
Yeah.
less fuck the police. You know?
So, MC Irony, that's his name.
It was funny how I came across NWA. I was in Chicago, and I think it might have been Two Life Crew. Mm-hmm. And so I just heard all this cursing and rap, and you know me, I'm a lover of all things. I'm a lover of all things profane. So I said, who are these rappers that are swearing? So then they said, and then they looked at me like, nigga, come on now, you know. So I think I bought it. I think I got it on vinyl.
I have it on cassette.
Okay.
I still have it on cassette.
So I got it on vinyl, and I was kind of like, I kind of think I like I think I kind of like Luke Skywalker a little bit better.
The two live crew?
Yeah, they were down. We want some pussy.
We want some pussy.
Yeah, it was more of a party obscenity as opposed to an anger kind of thing.
And it totally was. And that's how I found out about it. My cousin came in that summer from Washington, and that was all from D.C., like dark city, D.C.,
Right.
not Washington on the West Coast. And he was all about that. Me and Lorenzo rolling in a benzo, beat a brother out of shape. You know.
Did a lot for the Raiders hats.
Totally did.
Yeah.
Al Davis, damn you, Al Davis.
Well, that was a great quote of Hunter S. Thompson. He said, "Al Davis is this and that. Is this and that. And meanwhile, he's free to live. And meanwhile, a good man like Sonny Barger, who formed the Hells Angels, he rots in a prison cell." So he was basically saying Sonny Barger ain't got nothing over Al Davis, you know. So you're down in LA. How long were you down there for? 2 weeks?
I went down for 2 weeks. I had a couple of gigs there, and then while I was there, I mean, we have the mutual acquaintance of Mr. Russell Peters, and he was like, just come down, hang out. And,
The Brown Sinatra.
Yeah, so he said, come down, and so I went. He was off to shoot a movie with Faison Love in Austin. He said, stay at the house. Ron Jossel, another one of our
What
favorite.
is LA like without Russell? Not the same as with Russell. Right?
It's less hectic.
You sleep in a little. You
get
go
to
to bed a little bit earlier.
You get to sleep in a little bit, and there's less of a vacuum effect. Because with Russell, you're pretty much. But so here's the funny thing. So when I flew in, and he lives in Malibu now. I know.
Right.
So.
I haven't seen your new crib yet, but yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. So I land, and the first thing he does is like, okay, I'll meet you at this seaside spot on the Pacific Coast Highway. So we get a little loaded there for a bit. And
Who
then
picks you up, Eddie, or you
Eddie,
Yeah, okay.
Eddie, and Pick,
Okay.
because Russell's got to get. I don't know what he's got to do. He's got to pluck his. I don't know what he's got to do. So
He's still waking up.
so he's like, I'll meet you at this spot. So they pick me up, and it's happy hour, and then he's like, as soon as we leave here, we got to go home, back to the crib, get changed, and get dressed because he's hosting the Ice House in Pasadena. And so it was him. It was Joe Rogan's show. It was like Neil Brennan, Ian Edwards, Tom Fitzsimmons. It was like a
Did you get
stack.
Not that one.
Rogan basically was like, I would love to have put you on, but there's so many people on the show right now that it's the only reason. So I was kind of, I was 2 minds. I was kind of upset and kind of sad.
Relieved.
I was kind of relieved because when I saw the heavy hitters and they were the 20 minutes. They packed so much jokes into the 20 minutes. I was so impressed, and that was literally the genesis of the 2 weeks as to the whole mind change of like.
It's like warming up in the bullpen and then
Yeah.
being happy that you ain't got to go
Yeah, yeah.
face the 3, 4, and 5
Yeah, yeah.
hitters.
But
Yeah.
I would have played. It would have been beautiful, and,
Yeah.
and it was just such a nice thing to watch. So that was a nice way to start it off. And then the next day, Jocelyn and I headed down to Hermosa Beach, and then I jumped on at the Comedy Magic Club, did some spots there, and then the next day they said, "Hey, do you want to do another spots?" I was like, "Ah, cool, jump back on." And then we went to San Diego.
That's pretty.
Yeah, San Diego was gorgeous. The American Comedy Company, which was a beautiful club. It looks like a basement, but I mean, once you get down there, the decor is beautiful, the stage, the lighting, the everything. So, so it was just nice to hit the ground running and just kind of tell your jokes and then realize, hey, my same jokes at work. It kind of always reminded me of the scene in, you remember in Hoosiers, where Gene Hackman takes the white team and they got to play the black team in the championship, and he just starts measuring out how long the court is, and it's like the same dimensions. So that's how I felt. I was like, hey, your jokes work.
Still the same game.
Yeah, it's still the same game, man.
Yeah.
It's just a different looking court. So, but it was beautiful. I loved it.
Who'd you see that's coming up that's hot?
I've always been a fan of Ian Edwards. And,
Yeah, well, he's
so I haven't seen Ian in a long time. Like, I just keep hearing about him. But when I watched him, and I saw him at the Ice House that night, and then a couple nights later, I got to see him at the store. Like, I didn't even know he was going to be there, and then just kind of bumped into him, and he was on stage, and I was like, it was just poetry in motion to watch, Ian Edwards work. So. And he's the one who stood out for me most of all while I was there, because I saw a good few people.
Right.
A dude I met by the name of Ty Rivera, who I know opened up for like Joe Coy and a bunch of people. He was actually very funny. KT Tatara, I enjoyed. I got to work with a lovely. You should, if we ever get the chance to bring her up to Toronto, Jackie Fabulous, who does a lot of work with your girl Kim Whitley.
Okay.
Really nice personality, really nice comedian, very funny. She was actually opening for Arsenio. So I hooked up with, I bumped into her at a couple clubs, and then she's like, I'm going to be gone for the weekend because I'll be opening for Arsenio. And it was just nice to be around that
Opening
kind of
for
that kind of company, and they're just dropping names like it's nothing.
You
You're
got to
just
hold
like,
back
"Oh."
over for Arsenio.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, and again, in the vein of name dropping in LA, so Afion Crockett, I don't know if you know Afion,
No.
but so basically he's a young brother, good friend of mine. He was in town last summer filming Pixels with Adam Sandler, and him and I hooked up, and we hung out almost exclusively while he was here. So when I was there, he was like, "Hey, let's go hang out." But then Sandler plucked him to head to New York to promote Pixels. So he's like, "When you get back," I'm like, "I'm going to be gone," and stuff like that. So he's definitely another brother to watch, because he's just, him and Marlon Wayans and a few other brothers are doing a parody of 50 Shades of Grey called 50 Shades of Black. So
Okay.
that should be coming out very shortly. So
All right. So lots of gunslingers down
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
you got your shots in, and
yeah, like I said, the beautiful part was, it's always funny when no one knows who you are, and then you actually prove yourself on stage, and then after, everyone kind of talks to you after that when they realize, okay, this guy ain't no schmuck.
reluctantly.
Yeah. So everyone's like, hey, no, can I see
Yeah,
you?
but before they knew who you are,
Yeah.
what?
Everyone was quiet, just passing you in the hallway, like,
Yeah.
But after that, everyone was cool and ridiculously cordial. And hey, call me, and if you ever want to go do open mics, and we'll hang out anytime you're in LA. Give me a call, all that kind of good
But the
stuff.
problem is going to LA for 2 weeks doesn't really get you any scratch.
I'm okay with no scratch for right now, because what I want to do is at least
Get your feet more
yeah,
wet
yeah,
and exposed.
and just be used to that type of pace and rhythm. So when I do get there, it's literally hit the ground running.
See, like anytime I ever went to LA, it's like, I got 3 days here. I got to get a development deal by tomorrow, because I got to go back on Friday. Well, we'd like to see you in a showcase. Where else are you going to be? I'm going to be here tomorrow, then gone. Sign me.
You have
know?
7 minutes to see me.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
basically you gotta be living there to make anything really happen much for you.
If not, at least try to be there semi-regularly throughout the year. So
Right.
that's basically.
So basically about the same type of thing as you're going to try and do something in the UK.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
But I think it would be easier this. I don't know. I just have a feeling it'd be slightly easier, because I mean, no one really goes to the UK to make it. You
Well,
know.
there's a European making it.
There's a European, but I mean,
You know, where you're playing big theaters and the whole type of thing.
but ultimately, I think what you still strive for is to head back to the States. You know what I mean? So
Unless you Paul Robeson. Then you never want to see American soil again. So okay, so what are you doing back here now? So I mean, you know, you just came off of what a good solid 18 months of all kinds of magnificent shit happening for you when you did the documentary in Israel.
yeah.
Okay, and then you did you had your Just for Laughs come and go.
Yes. So basically, what
It's hard to keep the momentum.
but
The business side, right?
the business side is hard to think. I think you really need to stay motivated, and I find working and watching a lot of the younger cats who basically there's some who have legitimate reason to basically, you know, toot their own horn, and then there's some of them who is like you have zero reason to toot your own. You haven't done anything, but they're
got
still
3,000 Twitter
exactly. But they're
followers.
still trying to do their own thing on YouTube and stuff like that. So it always makes me realize you could at least be working a little harder. I don't necessarily need to be doing the same job that they're doing.
Right.
But I mean, the name of the game now is be seen. It's not like back in the day where, you know, you can kind of sit back and hopefully that somebody sees you. Now it's just being able to be seen, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Vine, whether you're an Instagram star, whether you're you got a Facebook page, whether you're on Periscope, or if you're a Twitter or whatever it is. So you at least on some levels need to be visible, whether it's through eyes, through ears, through word of mouth. We live in a world of hashtags, unfortunately. So I just basically am trying to stay with or slightly ahead of the trends in doing that. So I'm trying to be way more disciplined, and I think since I started working out,
Trend-wise.
yeah, and since I started, as everyone kind of who knows me sees me now, is like, oh my God, what's going on with you? You're
You've
so
taken
skinny.
this whole physical.
Yeah. So, but from the physical part has turned into a mental thing for me because I realized that the discipline, if I could put this kind of discipline into changing my lifestyle, that I could put that kind of discipline into, you know, working harder at my craft, and that's the beautiful thing about
A
it. So-
routine.
yes, exactly.
They call it a comedy routine, but it's a
Exactly.
life routine. Like I
'Cause it's
just
the same
finished reading
thing
this
over
book,
and over.
Miles and Me, and Miles would get up every day, and his first thing he would do, he'd go and swim. You know, this like in the last like 10,
Mm-hmm.
12 years of his life. So he'd go swimming. And then he'd come back to the crib and do whatever. And he'd paint for a while because he had to keep his hands busy because he quit smoking and doing drugs.
Ah.
And then after he painted for a couple of hours, he then would practice his horn. So it was, you know, so those are three different, you know, disciplines that he had every day to keep his thing floating and going.
And it really is that. It becomes a mental game. So that's basically where I think my head is at these days is finding the exact same thing you just said, is finding the routine, because everything needs to be a routine. Writing needs to be a routine. Performing needs to be a routine. Taking a break for yourself, for whether it's a half hour, is a routine.
Right.
Surfing porn, just so you find the right thumbnail.
Well,
Clip
you got
to
the
click
right
on.
thumbnail because it's your routine. You just go click history. Then you go, oh, my wife double clicked this one. Okay, I have to change my password.
No, I'm like a dictator. I'm trying to erase history.
Rewrite it.
I'm trying to rewrite my own history.
You change it from where you were
That's
looking
right.
to.
That's
You say,
right.
how can I get this knitting page
That's
in
right.
here?
That's right.
Modern crochet.
He's on Pinterest a lot. A lot of cat pictures.
Well, that's the thing. If you can find that routine, like for me, the longest time my routine was getting up, going out, having breakfast, getting high, and then walking down Young Street.
But that was what our routine used to be.
Yeah.
But now that you realize that everybody everybody and their mama thinks that they can be funny, and everybody and their mama thinks they can do comedy, so they continue to do the routine. And I don't even think a lot of it is good stuff, but they're doing it. So who are we to not at least make the attempt to, knowing that what we got to kind of make it even better? So
Yeah.
it's just hard to find that. So, but again, even watching dudes like you, man, like you're one of the few people, one of the few comedians, performers that I know that can literally if asked or not asked, read the newspaper in the morning and have at least minimal 15 to 20 new bits.
Because I'm
on
hoping for
just
that new hit that ain't coming because it's not on the internet.
But that's the beautiful part about
Yeah.
it. That's the beautiful part about your brain. A lot of people don't have that capacity or capability. So, I mean, and that just needs, again, to be the routine that you need to get in, that we continue to
So
get
I
into.
did a spot on Saturday night fundraiser for Joanna Downey at the Underground, and I don't remember the last time I done a spot somewhere.
Wow.
And I went in there and I just pistol whipped that crowd, just pop, 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 tore it up, and then left the building. And
Before the police showed up.
and it was like, man, I said, but the thing is, like, see, now I can't stand. See, I got in the habit of not leaving the house. If it's not family, I don't leave the house unless there's money on the table.
I hear you.
So I don't leave the house because there's no money on the table to go pick up anymore, right? So I'm not doing these mics anymore. So for me to walk up there and I was dropping stuff I'd never done before, or stuff I just riffed on the phone, or maybe even some Facebook stuff, and hearing this audience like explode, I'm going, well, shit, you just showed it, you still got it, you can wake up and turn over. And I said, but that ain't the point. The point is, you got to be seen by more than just the 20
Exactly.
people here tonight.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of the hope. Well, I'm assuming that's what the younger audiences or the younger performers are showing us, is that, and this is why you need to get on it. I mean, I know it seems weird, but like there are so many people that have followers on like Tumblr, and they have like a blog, and then because people follow them and they say, hey, I'm gonna be at blah 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 at 8 p.m. and then people will show up and, hey man, I read your blog, I just came down to see you, which again I think is definitely something. Even if you didn't do it, you know enough people like Darren Frosty that can get you someone to kind of handle your social media stuff, because you're always relevant and like of like everyday relevancy. Like some of the shit that you post cracks me the fuck up. I'll die, and the fact that you type in all caps also makes me laugh, because it just always makes me think you're yelling all the time.
No, I'm not yelling. My eyes are bad. But nobody want to hear that. And then I always get somebody tell me stop yelling. So
It makes me laugh.
And when it's racial, my fun is, who are you, the white man, to tell me what letters I can type with?
That's what makes me laugh about it. There's a cartoon character called Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
And every time they draw a picture of Calvin, his mouth is open so big, and it always makes me think he's yelling. And you're my Calvin.
But I'm not even yelling. I'm just like,
That's the
or
shit that makes me
sometimes it's
laugh.
easier than doing the shift, because I don't have time to worry about shift and pronunciation and punctuation when I'm trying to get this ideal out, even though there's no race.
But the explanation that you gave me is the fact that your eyes are so fucking bad that you need to type in all caps.
Everybody's saying, why is he so angry? Because I'm blind, motherfucker, because I'm blind.
Blind with oppression.
I'm blind. I can't see. It's for my sake, not yours. So
hilarious.
Okay, so what gigs you got happening around town coming up?
Just got back from Montreal. Had a fantastic time in Montreal with Pedro, the fire
yeah.
starter. That was great. I got Ottawa coming up.
So basically the big name chain comedy club thing happening?
I got a Vancouver. I also just picked up. They're going to have me close the Accent on Toronto, which is going to be hosted
Excellent.
by Angelo Ouchass.
Oh, Andrew's actually got time to do that, huh?
Yeah. So I think he's
Okay.
probably in town, probably going to be promoting something, because I know he's got the new movie and I think like a web series out with Frank Spadone. So they just asked me to do that. So I'm looking forward to that.
And plus, he's got Last Comic Standing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, on NBC, and I'm trying to get into a Montana comedy festival. I spoke to one of the submissions people.
Big Sky or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get into that
All
for
these
October.
festivals, they want $35 for you to register.
I know. I'll take it though, man.
know?
I just want to meet people and you know what I mean. Like I said, so when I go back
need
out,
my $35. Fuck Montana.
you need $35 for LASIK, so you don't have to keep typing in caps on Facebook.
What they got in Montana besides rednecks? I got no time for Montana. Not for. Plus,
wanna go.
Well, every year I keep promising I'm going to go to the Las Vegas comedy competition.
That'd be good too, man.
Every year, and then every year I can go July, August without a gig, not a fart in a windstorm of a gig, and then all of a sudden the week of the competition. Kenny, here's a gig for more money than you've made in 3 months. And I go, the hell with Las Vegas. Didn't do Elvis any good, So, he lost his hip when he was in Vegas all those years, So eventually I will get down to Vegas for the thing,
You got all the time in the world, man. So.
That's what I keep telling myself since I was 20. And look at me now, huh? So, no rush. They're not looking for actors your age yet. You're still only 27. You know, so, what, now you're 47. Well, you're not quite the character actor yet. So, anyway, folks, that's all the time we got for this little chit-chat, but don't go anywhere because we're going to come right back because we've got some things that are in the news that John Paul and I are going to talk about. So you've been watching Breaking Down the News on Smithee TV, and I thank you for it. JP?
Boop.